trumps. All right, the E-kit, which is an electronic kit, versus a regular kit. I would say go with a smaller regular kit compared to the E-kit. The E-kit, it's very basic. You can practice, you can hit the pads, and you'll get that down. You can get the boom bap, it closes up, it saves space. So if that's up your alley, go ahead, start with that. And it plugs into the computer, which is cool. But then you're gonna eventually get a full kit, so it's like, it's kind of weird. Now you could say recording later on will be a little bit of a breeze. You can plug into the computer, but it won't seem that realistic. And I think it'll be more important for you to understand the fundamentals of recording an acoustic kit, because that'll help you later on with your live scenarios and setups. But I'll break this down for you. If you have the acoustic kit, first off, there's so many elements, and this is when I say acoustic, I mean just a regular drum set. There's so many, everything is percussive about it. So there's so many elements that you're missing out from the E-kit, and what you're paying with the E-kit is how realistic it is. So why not just go all in on something realistic? So get something possibly smaller, basic, so you don't have to get the full kit. I would get something that's like potentially versatile and upgradable. You know, if it's a little more on the pricier side but smaller, it's got the snare, it's got the kick, it's got the hi-hat, and then maybe a tom and a splash. That's like basic right there. Those 3 to 4, maybe 5 are gonna get you rocking and rolling, and you'll be able to jam successfully. You know, I think everything beyond that is going to just be like something that you can expand on and go as you learn. So that way you're learning about the pieces and what they can add to you. It's like going with your growth as a drummer. So when you're also, like, let's say if you're first, taking the drum sets, you're also going to want to find the right set of sticks for you. All right. I would go to, and again, similar to the guitar, go to a place where you can touch a bunch of different sticks and bounce them on something. They're all different in how thick, how thin, how some of them different length, different tip at the end, how they bounce. So just go and then try a bunch of them, and then something's gonna stick out. Or you can, for the price of you, there'll be like a big bundle you can grab, and you can put some tape on them, and those are worth it. You're gonna get your wrist rocking and rolling. Maybe the chunkier the better, or maybe the lighter the better, so you can get your quickness and your tits tats. So these are things that you're gonna want to experiment with. This is your which blade do you want to carry into battle type of analogy. So it's all fun. But again, talking about the acoustic kit, let's say you do get the kit and then you expand upon it and then you're upgrading it. I think, because the thing is, you can get a cheap-ish drum set and put nice heads on it and tune it up, and then put even better hardware on it too sometimes. Even if like an awesome kick pedal too. And it'll probably sound as good, if not, better at some points. But knowing and having the ability to do that is going to take you light years as a drummer, because a lot of the times you may not be able to bring your whole kit to the gig. So if you can tune some things up real quick to your standards, not too crazy. Hopefully the guy behind you is not like, I think that'll go a long way. So just jumping into the acoustic kit might be the best thing for you, in my opinion. E-kits are great, but they're probably better off as your second kit, or maybe not even a kit at all. I think you're better off getting, like the sound dampening type of equipment, There's even some of them that are like, practice pad type ordeal at home, which are totally fine. You can even, jam along to like music too. I think that's another important thing is practice-wise, you should just be jamming along to preset music that's already locked in, so that way you can get your self locked in. Because I think part of being a great drummer is being locked in. And when I say locked in, I mean like you're on tempo. You're not too fast. You're not too slow. You are keeping everything at the same cadence. All right? Everybody's marching at the same time. Nobody's going to bump into each other. Nobody's too fast. And if you're capable of doing that, everybody can rely on you. And also, the instruments have the ability to go crazy and go wild. And if they come back to you all at the same time, it's going to sound great. So being on time is important. And I think it's more important as a drummer than being able to do crazy rolls. Those are great. Awesome. But if you can keep this tight oomph and then creatively come up with different combinations and still stay tight, people will lose themselves. You're hypnotizing them with the rhythm. I think that's the focal point for the whole drums, is that. So yeah, I think that's everybody's job in the band. And now when you start jamming together collectively, it's probably going to be weird. I think you should do like two things. You should obviously let's just say we've gotten everybody together. Everybody's got their instruments. Everybody's, we have the you figured out what day a week or a month or whatever you guys are going to get together and do this. So you have to practice and plan and pretty much start by, yes, you can do covers, okay? Covers are great. And they'll help you understand structures of songs, and they'll help you understand the process. But I also think it's important to understand yourself. So I think, yes, when you first start, do some covers. But also, in that precious time that you have to practice, do some experimental jams, right? And go wild. And I think also nowadays, in the days of recording, record yourself too. Even if it sounds so cruddy, record yourself, because there might be something cool that happens to that. And nowadays there's so much easily technology. I couldn't really record something on myself back in the day, even for that long, and it would just sound not that good. So recording yourself is also, I think a big one too is in these jams. So I think incorporate that too. Why not? You don't have to upload it right just now, but throw it in a file. Maybe you'll laugh at it 10 years, 20 years from now, whatever. But more importantly, you'll start to understand and see what you sound like. It's good. It's the best practice. I think fighters do that. They record themselves sparring, and they go back and they see themselves. It's very important to do that, So self-reflection is, on your art, it's very good. And not in the sense of need to push yourself, but it's don't forget to do that. I think it's very important. I think it's awesome. So practice some covers, jam, and then once you start feeling good, go hard. Go find some places to play. That's going to be a very difficult job. There's a lot of things that are going to take place now that let's say you are capable of playing some songs, right? You've obtained the equipment, and now that's another thing too. Let's talk about equipment you probably need to perform. You are most likely going to need some type of speaker, and this is also going to exist with the microphone as well. The mic's got to plug into something. I talked about, as a vocalist getting a microphone, but the mic's also got to go into something to make it louder. Now that something is also probably going to make the entire band louder, right? and I have the mixer here. This, and we'll use this as an example too. So this thing, and we call it a mixer, is because it mixes all of the instruments together. And more importantly, it balances the strength of each sound coming in here, right? And it also separates the zone of which sound is in where. So it can put all the low stuff, it can just make sure it's in the low portion. It can take all the mid stuff and all the high stuff and put it in its certain spot, or take things that are not needed in that sound. It's basically just you make the sound pretty on each individual sound that goes into it. It just is like this octopus that grabs all of the sounds, and then it just becomes one, and it goes into, this one source, this one signal, this one sound, this one collective unit. But it's all about, again, mixing and balancing everything together. So taking the strength of all the instruments in the sounds and matching their strength together as one, and not being too strong. Okay? Best example. Bow load. So when you're, you get your mixer and you need speakers. Something like this with more channels, obviously, is more instruments or more microphones, but you're gonna have to get something that can mix all of everybody together and getting it out into a pair of speakers. Now, you probably are just gonna need something for practice at home, or in like a basement environment. You don't have to get too loud, in my opinion. Again, you just have to match the drum set. And you should also experiment with making the drum set not only sound good, but dampened in your practice environment, because you don't want to hurt your ears and go too loud all the time. So I wouldn't worry about getting the loudest of the loud. It's more about this is going to be way more important. So you can either just get something small to get you by, or invest in a good mixer that can potentially be used in some recording aspects later on. So that might also be like a, two birds, one stone. You purchase this one, it's going to do a lot of different things. Or maybe just, for now, you just get one speaker for the microphone, and everybody has their own speaker. So the mic has a speaker, or powered speaker. The keys have their own speaker, and everybody balances their volume level, and the drums and the bass, and the drums don't have a speaker obviously, but the drums are going to be at like a muted level, and you can experiment with controlling the sound in the atmosphere you are playing in. So what you should first do is, try to get everybody as low as possible, right? Quiet as possible, not whispering, but they should be able to perform and talk, and then add all the sound gradually, and then see how you can control the sound and make the sound, sound obviously good, but as good as you can without making it too loud. And then that'll also be fun because you get to put the mic in a specific spot compared to the speaker. We talked about feedback, but you should be experimenting with this setup and getting familiar with, how to control the volume, because that's important. That's also going to help you a lot along down the road. So everybody's, able to plug, and that's another thing too. If you can get everybody into the mixer, and you are able to get a mixer that goes into the computer as an interface, you can eventually start recording. But if not, just recording off a phone, or maybe eventually just recording off a phone is honestly going to be fine nowadays. Just put it in a nice spot, do a little sound check. But that's going to be the best kind of setup for you, is control, and then getting some type of speaker mixer. And then eventually you can either take this out and do some live stuff in your backyard for, 4th of July or whatever. Or you could even take it to like a small bar, I shouldn't say bar, I should say a small school auditorium or something, it doesn't necessarily matter. But I think when you get to some other larger venues, you'll notice that you don't have to bring your equipment. But as a vocalist and other stuff, bring the thing that, makes the noise, So microphone, they might even have their own. Okay, fine, you got yours on standby. But what yours sounds like compared to others. Don't necessarily need to be picky, but it's good to always have backups. It is what it is. Sometimes yours might be even nicer than theirs. So if that's the case, by all means, But know what's what. Now, you got the gear. You got a place to practice. You got some songs you're working on. Everybody has pretty much, everybody's pretty much on the same page. You probably all contributed, personally to your own, instruments and things that you like. But it also is important to, make sure that you come up with a name and an idea and a concept of now it's you guys get to paint your own picture collectively. You guys get to kind of make a little masterpiece. Now, when you're first getting started with the bands, I don't think your first one is going to be your last one. I think it's good to feel out, yourself in these environments, because you're going to realize that there's things you can and can't control. Some people, they have other things going on, and they might be really good at playing. They might be amazing to hang out with, but this is just, they have other stuff. So you might have to find someone else to fill that spot. And then, or everybody's in that circle's feeling like that. Or there's people in that circle that aren't getting along with each other. These are signs that, okay, things aren't going to work out. But the best thing you can do in those scenarios is treat others how you want to be treated, first off. Make sure that you're doing a good job. And then secondly, if there's some negativity going on and this and that, I think just separating yourself from that and doing your own thing, and then eventually some other people will fall into place. I wouldn't worry too much, but I wouldn't let other people let you give up on your dream and your goals if this is what you want to do. But the odds of you running into some crazy people in some band scenarios, whether they're in your band or not in your band, they're out there. But aside from that, have fun with it, man. It's gonna be great. Just jamming in my buddy's basement in high school was probably one of the coolest things I ever did. No, not necessarily cool, but just fun. I'll never forget it. Just grand old fun. So, picking a place to pull. Should we talk about songs? Yeah, I think once you've gotten kind of through the you're able to do some covers and kill a bunch of covers, you've done all of them you can think of. Start writing stuff. Why not? Make a song about whatever. It doesn't matter. And also, you don't necessarily have to have your name together. It'll come to fruition as you have this experience. But yeah, I would think start writing some stuff down, start getting something going, and then start jamming, experimenting with it. But once you kind of get there and make songs, it's game over. Finding a place to play is going to be as easy as you make it. No, this day and age, you can just email everybody, but I don't think you should just, put your hopes into, I'm sending emails and that's it. Going in person's the biggest thing, but also asking around. If you don't know what's out there, if you don't go and look out there, So email, check in person, and then ask around. Something will land on your lap. And if not, throw your own little backyard show for your grandma. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. If it's at Sunday at 2 p.m., come free, hang out, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I think that's probably one of the coolest things I did once with that high school band was the neighbor were just having like a little small thing, and he was like, "Hey, do you guys want to set up? I've like heard you in your basement wailing. Do you want to just like poke up on your lawn, and then you can just project into my lawn?" And then yeah, we did like a whole set. It was great. The whole little neighborhood came out, and then that led into like we did another little block party, and it was great. You know, one thing will lead to another, but have fun. You know. So let's say you got everything wrapped up, right? You're with a great band, great group of guys. For this example, say you're a little on the younger side, you got no real responsibility. Yeah, I think what would be smart is you document everything in this day and age. You know, just film yourself, everything, every little moment you guys are having, film it. I'm not saying go live 24/7, but just, you know, film the entire process, right? And then if you're also, you know, trying these little songs out that you've written, you're playing at little shows, and you have footage of everything. Now you want to start recording, especially if you can record these shows with that like handheld recorder we talked about, or any way you can, you know, try to get that audio as clean as possible into some video, you know, just get something recorded. If you get it all together and you're able to put it anywhere, honestly, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be super professional, you know, just as long as it's there, even if it's harsh, who cares? It doesn't matter in the start. You'll eventually work up to something a little better, but record. So hopefully you've gotten the mixer and you have everybody have the ability to plug into it, or you can get everybody's sound heard and, you know, cleanly combined into the mixer. And you also have an inner interface as well, or some way to get it onto your recording device. You're gonna want to just take it slow and try to make everybody, again, same thing as the live aspect, as clean as possible, right? And then educate yourself with some little mixing techniques and just put it together, you know. I think when you start doing that, that's kind of when things change from messing around, or even when you start writing the songs. But that process right there, in this day and age, you can get it done in your bedroom, you know, and it'll be nitty-gritty, even if that's your thing, if we're just selling the nitty-grittiness of this, you know. I think that getting it captured is the most important thing, you know. And eventually there should lead to opportunities where you can either record this in a cleaner or more professional environment, or, you know, you guys just, you know, do it again one time, just better, or then add a video to it. But it's great. And then this is going to lead you into that next level of even touring. So now that you've captured all of this, you've made all of this, it's all on the World Wide Web for the internet to see, and you're something to look forward to and get excited about, and you have also evidence of your live show. You have everything you need to probably go on tour or make a live show happen somewhere around you on semi-large scale. You know, it's just going to take a lot of hard work, promotion from everybody, and you're going to get whatever you put into it, you know. But like I said, have fun. This is probably going to where it starts to feel like a job more than anything, and it may become stressful for a lot of people in the band. It may seem like people aren't working hard enough than other people. Do what you gotta do, you know, as long as, you know, you feel like you're doing what you have to, you know, everything will come to fruition. But these steps should feel natural, they should feel fun, and you should be with people that are on the same boat, all right? So before you even got this far, these people should be great people. That's kind of what I'm saying. But I think that overall, like, as a band, the experiences that you get, and I'm not even talking making it, but the experience of just playing a show, they are 100 times better than they are experiencing a show 1,000 times better than they are experiencing a show. And I'll end it on a good memory. As I got into like my audio knowledge type of realm, I started to hang out with a buddy of mine who played bass and guitar. He played bass in this one band, and I just kind of hung around in the background, and my other buddy did photos, so we just kind of hung around in the back and then helped out as we could, either with equipment or setting up this and that. But we got to kind of experience this, and this was also while we were in college. So I got to experience this whole like the underground house party filled in a basement with a bunch of people, just they're just doing that thing when everybody's just squished in, enjoying the sound and the music. And it was hilarious because one of the dudes in the band, his parents showed up, and it was crazy because everybody is in their young 21-ish age, and out of nowhere these 60-year-old people show up like, we're here to see my son play, and it's just such good energy. You're playing next to a washing machine, and there's just Christmas lights hanging, and everybody's packed in here. It's probably a pretty dangerous scenario, but man, that's just like, this is one of those moments that you're just like, wow, I'm really free and alive. And I think playing a show like that is just like I wouldn't say once in a lifetime, but it's a great thing to experience in your lifetime. So join a band. Bands are dope. All right, that's all I got. Take care, guys.